This frog is wearing far more makeup than I am. Hi, I'm Melanie from Balloon Artworks in the UK, and today I'm going to show you how to make my fabulous friend here. For the frog base, you're going to need 8 5-inch balloons, and I'm inflating the first 4 to 4.5 inches and the second 4 to 4 inches. So that's 4 strokes of the Qualitex hand pump to inflate to 4.5. Tie the 2 together and make another one of these. Take your 2 duplets and connect them together. And we're going to make another one of these sized to 4 inches. So these were 4 strokes of the Qualitex hand pump. The next layer is going to be 3 strokes. And then connect the 2 clusters together. So just pull up a neck from the lower layer, pull it up in between balloons in the top layer, and then just whoops, wrap around in a figure of 8 motion. And everything's gone right there. Okay. And connect a sand or a water weight to the base. Just pull it up through the centre by the neck, and again wrap that neck around. For this next step, you're going to need an 11-inch or 12-inch balloon. You're going to need a little piece of 160 or 260 and a little piece of 260. And with this piece of 260, I'm just going to tie a knot and then tie a second knot at that same point, okay? And then just trim off the latex either side of the knot. So we're just left with that cluster of 2 knots. We call this a raisin, so insert the raisin into your 12-inch balloon and then inflate. Okay, so fully inflate the balloon. That's around 26 strokes of the Qualitex hand pump. I must admit that partway through inflating I did lose count, but aim for about 26. And then let some of the air out. Okay, and then tie a soft knot. Okay, so we're not pulling the knot tightly because we want to be able to roll this knot along the neck of the balloon, which is just going to make your balloon a little bit squishy. Okay, just makes it a little bit easier to work with. There's somewhere for the air to go when we do this next step. Okay, so just grab hold of that raisin in the base of the balloon, give the latex a twist, take hold of your 160 or 260, wrap that around a couple of times and then tie a knot. And I do like to tie a second knot while I'm doing this stage, just to be on the safe side. Okay, so that's what you've got. We can now use these tails to connect the frog to the base very easily, just by pulling the tails into the base and wrapping them around in a figure of 8 motion. Okay, so we've got our frog's body connected to the base. I'm inflating 2 5-inch round balloons just with 1 stroke of the hand pump. Tie the 2 together and then just stretch out the latex, and that's just going to bring out the shine because we've underinflated these balloons. Put these to one side. Inflate another 5-inch balloon in a different colour for the eyes, so inflate this all the way. I've actually overinflated this, you can see, because it's starting to become a light bulb shape, but I'm happy to do that for this step because I'm stretching out the latex. I want the latex to be as stretched out as possible, and then I can let out quite a lot of air. Okay, so I want something that fits kind of in the palm of my hand, but it's about 3 inches or so in size. Tie a knot, okay? So that's what you've got. And we're going to create a split duplicate. So we're going to split this balloon approximately in half. So you're going to grasp either side of the nozzle, and then you're going to twist your hands in opposite directions. So one hand will go this way and the other hand will go that way. And we're going to twist the balloon in half to create the eyeballs, and then you can wrap the neck around. Okay, so just hold on to that. Take hold of these balloons and we're going to wrap them into the neck there. Okay, and then these we can position just here, and we can just take one of the necks and pull them into the split duplicate. Wrap around. Okay. I've inflated a 260 to a 2 to 3 finger tail. You can inflate a little bit longer if you want to, and then just tie the ends together. Okay. And then split this in half very approximately. So fold the balloon, pinch here at approximately the halfway point, and then just rotate this top section, and that is going to create a split. Okay, and we can bring these two sections together, wrap around, pass one through the other, and that's just going to lock those. And then you can take those legs and just pass them underneath the frog's body and swap them around at the back. Okay, and we can massage the balloons a little bit just to give them a little bit of shaping. I'm just using the warmth of my hands to shape the latex. I'm going to take the opportunity to draw the eyes. So I'm just doing as round circles. If you use the flat side of the tip of your pen, you can cover the surface area much more quickly than if you're just using the tip. I've got a 160 with a tail of about 3 fingers, and I'm going to make some loops. So just fold the balloon over. So loops of about 4 or 5 fingers. So just make a twist, pass the knot and nozzle through, and that's just going to help ensure that doesn't come undone. And then fold the balloon again. So I'm using a 160 for this. I don't know whether I mentioned that. And then just take the knot and nozzle and wrap it around that second loop. Don't worry if these loops are not exactly the same size. Okay? Just wrap that around. And then we can just snip off the end. Let that down and tie that in a knot. That was hard work. And make another one of these. To position our frog's toes, just pull the excess in at the back and wrap around. Okay, and I like to do this method because then we can stretch this out and just maneuver the toes in position wherever we want to place them and attach the other foot. I like to use an Edding 750 paint pen to draw some highlights in the eyes. And I do like these Edding 750s because they don't reactivate the Sharpie ink, which some paint pens do. This is a new Edding 750, so it's not quite activated. And then lastly, I like to draw circles with a brush tip Sharpie, just to give my frog some markings. and I just work my way around putting the circles wherever I want them to go. I don't try and achieve any kind of particular pattern, and I do tend to leave this area clear a little bit because I like to put some blusher on later. I've got these fabulous false eyelashes which are green, and I'm just applying those here. So I'm actually sticking them to the green balloons, so in between the yellow balloons and sticking them onto the green balloons. So those of you that know about applying eyelashes will probably tell me I'm doing it all wrong. It's not something I do usually, not for myself anyway. So probably lots of things that you can do to make these fan out a little bit more. But I just thought that would be a little bit fun. And then some makeup. So when I buy makeup, my husband always comments that he says, well, I know the makeup's not going to be for you, it's for your balloons. And apply this with your finger, not with a brush, because if you apply with a brush, it will go everywhere. It doesn't particularly stick to the balloon. But if you just apply this with your finger, and I do tend to put this on last because it can smudge a little bit. But the trick is to just kind of apply it gently with your finger in a circular motion.